All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the sweaty nation? What is happening? What is going on, people? This man really starting off the show eating pizza?
Little Caesar's pizza.
Yo, this man is really taking this whole Little Caesars advertisement seriously. Listen, I gotta respect the hustle. Gabe. Wow, crazy. He's really trying to get us that Little Caesars sponsorship. Look at that. What kind of Little Caesars pizza is that? I didn't get a chance. What was that, like pepperoni?
It's just a basic pepperoni.
Basic pepperoni. How much does that basic pepperoni run you, Gabe? I'm just curious.
$5.99 with tax. It was like $6.12.
Oh man, well, gone are the days. Gone are the days of $5 hot and ready, man. What's happening there? Yeah. No,
cheese prices going up.
Yeah, shoot, man. When the cheese prices go up, that's when the looting starts, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it like some sweaty addicts for the Sweaty Cast session numero 6. That's right. Crank that drink. Who are we sponsored by now? What drink is that?
Oh, this is just a sparkling water, or as my friend likes to call it, battery acid.
Sparkling water is the shit. How the hell's that battery acid? Unless it tastes like shit.
They think all sparkling water tastes like shit. There's no such thing as a good sparkling water, which I mean, I guess I can understand because that's like coleslaw. There's no such thing as a good coleslaw.
There is no such thing as a good coleslaw, bro. You know what the funny thing is though? There's still people that go out to restaurants and order coleslaw. That's wild.
There's a guy I work with. He swears on his life, so he likes coleslaw, and he only likes coleslaw because he had good coleslaw one time, and he swears up and down on his life it exists and it's out there. So he says he has to say he likes coleslaw because he had a good one time, but every other one's been trash.
well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently there is a good coleslaw out there. But now, speaking about sparkling water, man, I will somewhat agree with your friends that there is no good sparkling water, but I had this one, and maybe some of the old heads might remember, in middle school I had this one flavor of Aquafina sparkling water. I swear to God, man, they put cocaine in that shit because it was the best
sparkling water.
Not the one that's out right now. There's something different now. But they had this one in like the early to mid 2000s that I swear to God, that shit tasted like crack cocaine. And I had that every single day in middle school, bro. It was so good. And then after I graduated middle school, it was nowhere to be seen, man. It was nowhere to be seen. Maybe they caught on to it. Who knows?
It wasn't actually sparkling water. There was like, it was crack cocaine.
They actually put that in there. Look at that.
The one I'm drinking is it's black tea and mango. This is the one I'm having right now.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty decent when paired with the Little Caesars pizza. Look at that.
Oh my God! Someone said it tastes like acid. Not gonna lie.
Well, there you go. Now you got some people to co-sponsor that, you know. But for me today, what have I got? I'm very basic, as you guys know. I start my streams. I got vintage seltzer. It's the lemon lime flavor because every now and then your boy Neo he likes to pinky up with these flavors, man.
Let's go. Dude, it's always the citrus flavors are like the best ones for like seltzers and sparkling all together. Always the best ones.
Nah, you know what's actually really good? It's actually really solid. Anytime they put like black cherry flavors, it's a toss-up.
I feel like it's
a toss-up.
Yes. Because I've had it where it was really good, and I had one yesterday because they always put like random shit in the break room. You know, like y'all saw my tweet, like I shouldn't eat the break room nachos, but we had the break room sparkling water,
and that's what gave you a date with the work toilet. That right there.
Yeah, that was my first class ticket with a date to the work toilet.
You see, that's the thing. As a general rule of thumb, if they ever put something in the break room that's for other people, I never take that shit, bro. You want to know why?
No.
You want to know why? It's a setup. It is a setup, bro. It is a setup, and trust me on this, because at one of my old jobs, every single time they had conspicuously put like pizza pies or candy or anything like that in the break room that's for the workers, that meant some fuckery was about to go down. Either they had a lot of call outs or there was something going on with the scheduling. Like whatever it is, they were like, hey, can y'all stay a little later? And I never took the pizza because I knew I'd be complicit and they would try to make me feel bad. Now, granted, if I truly didn't give a fuck, I would have taken the pizza and then dipped. But as it stands, man, nah, never take the offerings, especially when they're going to try to coerce you, man. I would never do that.
There was a night I got guilted into overnights, and I took like the most minimum hour position ever because I already worked the day before. So
Uh-huh.
I literally went home, went to bed, and then woke up like 6 hours later, stayed up for 2 hours, and then I went back to work to do an overnight. But I only
Okay.
did I only did a half day, and literally like while I was clocking out, they were bringing in pizza, and I was like, "Oh sweet!" So I went down the break room and ate pizza at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, and I was like, "Wow, what a coincidence!"
What a coincidence that this man is clocked out, just sitting there and eating pizza.
You're on your lunch too? Nice. I'm clocked.
Yeah, I'm clocked out. Yeah, don't worry about that. And they're like, all right, Gabe, I'll see you out there. All right. Little did they know Gabe would never return.
Nope.
Not at all. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sweaty Cast. The Sweaty Cast is the weekly podcast where Gabe and I get together and recap all things in the world of entertainment, video games, manga, anime, comics, you name it. Now, considering that this is yet another sparse week in the world of news, it's just par for the course in the summer season, there aren't really a lot of topics for us to divulge, but we did manage to round up a couple of interesting topics, and then one of the topics we're going to discuss is something that we'd actually planned on talking about 2 weeks ago, but just because 2 weeks ago was the whole not E3 season, we didn't have a chance to really speak on it until today. But yeah, Gabe, are you
we went hard on that one.
We went so hard on that one, and to the point where it was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I texted Gabe and I was like, we didn't talk about Diablo.
I was like, all I did was like, yeah, that's okay. It's like we kept, because the E3 segment was supposed to be short, and then you had your little gist, I had my gist, and then like a couple people chat had their gist, and then we really just sat there and started breaking down the whole equation of E3 and streaming and the dawn of E3 and the banger years and the shit years, and it just we went Twitch introduction. We just literally went through the timeline.
It went through so many different places, man. By the end of it, we didn't even know, but we're back at it later on tonight to discuss Diablo 4, Diablo Immortal. That's going to be the Gabe segment of the show. I'm just going to keep myself on mute. He's going to run that. But yeah, until we get to that point, Gabe, we got a topic to talk about today. We got something spicy to talk about today, bro. Are you ready?
I like it spicy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better make me shit. Better make me shit.
I don't know if it would make you shit, man, but it might make you a little aroused, depending.
Oh, there we go.
Depending on how it is.
Hopefully both.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, two holes. You know what I'm saying? But Gabe,
pause.
Did you know that there's another God of War game coming out?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's another God of War game supposedly coming out this year. Will it or won't they? It's still up in the air. God of War Ragnarok.
True.
God of War Ragnarok. That's been it's honest to God, I'd say it's probably the biggest game left for the rest of the year that isn't the usual Call of Duties and Maddens and blah 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 blah. Unless you're counting something like a friend of the channel, Stalk Games, Gotham Knights, because apparently according to him, Gotham Knights is game of the year every year going forward. How relevant?
Disappointing. He set himself up for disappointment. He is setting himself up for disappointment with that.
But I don't know, Gabe. Sometimes you just kind of got to throw yourselves in those situations. You got sometimes you got to run before you could walk, and in the case of Soapbox Games, you got to take some L's, man.
You got to crawl.
Yeah, there you go.
He's in a wheelchair. That's what he's.
Man, shout out to the homie Soapbox Games.
I told him, I was like, man, you should have been. I was like, it sucks that we weren't talking during the Avengers day because Gabe was getting lit up 24/7.
Gabe, that man, you want to talk about his ass on the break room, in the freaking toilets, that thing exploding. That people were cooking Gabe every comment section. I could post something innocuous like Avengers game mid, and then Gabe is like, oh no, you gotta play the beta, and there'd be like 15 people in that thread just going in on Gabe saying, nah, beta trash, what you talking about? I ain't wasting 50 gigs. Shit was rough, bro. 2020 was not a good year for Gabe in that game, man.
No, it was not. No, and speaking on that note, hey, at least Avengers still has a player base, unlike what was Babylon's whatever.
All 1.5 players on Steam.
Yeah, I'll go on Steam. There's still a couple thousand people that play Avengers on Steam. I go to Babylon's Fall. There's like 4.
Bro, I remember being somewhat excited of Babylon's Fall when they re-revealed it. I was like, yo, this looks good. And then everyone in my chat was like, nah, man, this shit looking kind of ass. And I was like, I don't know. Let's see how this is. And then I saw like the next trailer they put out. I was like, oh no, this is what they was talking about, man.
See, like the graphics didn't really bother me at the beginning of it all. It was more or less the gameplay, but I was like, I'll give it a chance. Like I'm always a sucker for those co-op loot 'em up kind of style games. I've always liked the mass grouping RPGs that I mean, obviously they're live services, but I was like, give it a shot. I didn't expect it to tank that bomb, that bad. With Outsiders and Avengers, at least they had a following and there's people who latched onto it. I don't think anybody latched on to Babylon's Fall besides the one guy or two guys. And they actually interviewed that guy.
Oh, are you serious? Yo,
yeah,
I gotta read that.
He's not a happy person. That man is miserable.
Bro, because he goes into a lobby and it says searching for no other players. And they're like, this is it, bro. That's it. It's you. You are carrying this game, bro.
Yeah, they did a full-on interview with that man.
Could you just imagine your claim to fame? Yeah, I'm the sole Babylon's Fall player. But I guess it is true what they say, man. It seems that Babylon has truly fallen.
Oh no, Soap said there's a chance that you're right.
I mean, possibly it could be. But speaking of other games coming around that time frame, God of War Ragnarok. So it's been a weird kind of back and forth on won't they release God of War in 2022? Because as you guys know, for the past 2.5 years now, especially with COVID and the pandemic and work from home, no video game release date is set in stone until you can boot that game up in your console, press start, and you can move. Like that to me proves that a game is actually out. And in the case of God of War, they've been really cheeky about it. At first, it was supposed to come out in 2021. Then they delayed it to 2022. And there was obviously COVID played a role. And then also Christopher Judge. He had actually injured himself. And that pushed back things a few months. But it was looking like, all right, if it wasn't going to come out early 2022, probably end of 2022 seems fairly reasonable. But they've been really silent. They haven't really shown anything in the ways of like full-on gameplay demonstrations. It's only been like clips here and there, and then whenever they talk about the accessibility options. So a lot of people are rightfully worried because, with Sony and their messaging, it's gotten to the point where they'll put out something really shiny and special, like a new trailer for the game. And then in the blog post, it'll be like, oh, yeah, the game is delayed until next year. You know what I'm saying? Like they did that with Horizon. They did a whole state of play.
They did with The Last of Us as well.
Yeah, it was like, oh, man, it looks so amazing. It's so awesome. It's coming out next year. And which is fine if you want to do that. But I've never seen such an appetite like there is for God of War Ragnarok. People clamoring for a release date. Like, is this game coming out? We want this game to come out. And Cory Barlog, it's so weird because
his tweets.
it seems like it had been a perfect storm because Cory Barlog took like a social media break for like the past year. He wasn't online, and then all of a sudden we see these God of War Ragnarok like videos popping up, and then Cory comes back and there's all this cryptic shit. So people were putting together like, oh, maybe they're gonna announce something at the Summer Games Fest. They didn't do that. Maybe we're gonna get a state of play possibly, and people were taking like the Morse code that he was putting and translating it, and someone came along with something like June 30th they're going to reveal something, whether it's a release date or state of play. Nobody knew, but
it's June 30th.
Yeah, it's June 30th. The day is come and gone, and we haven't gotten anything. The only thing we have gotten is just more mystery and confusion. Cory Barlog had to come out and basically say like, I want to share stuff with you guys, but I can't share stuff with you guys, basically saying nothing. We're going to reveal it when we're ready, which can mean anything. But fans have gotten overzealous, as they always are, and they've decided to go and harass individual developers over at Sony Santa Monica, like anywhere from like animators to just like random people working in communications, like, give us the God of War release date, you're toying with us. And it went so far as some guy actually sending dick pics to somebody at Sony Santa Monica, which I don't know, man. I don't know how much you gotta love a game to do something like that. Put your penile activity out there, but
you really fucking love it. That's a Gabe move right there, and I wouldn't even do that.
It's a Gabe move, and he wouldn't do that. He'll be like, he'll say like, "I am so erect for a game," but I would not. Honestly, do that.
I was just posting on the TL and just like tag them all in like one big like group chat. Honestly.
Oh Jesus Christ! Just one thing. They're just like, well, we know who to block. There you go.
Like, I would go and look up all the credentials and just start looking them all on Twitter and just tag them in all one big ass post. Just the characters maxed out.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those situations where it's kind of like, what the fuck is wrong with people, man? You know? Like
It
obviously,
is extreme. That is really extreme. And I made a joke about it earlier. I was saying this implies that this has worked before. Because why else would
oh
they do it?
shit.
Like, why else? Why else would they do? Like, why else would you try it? Like, it's either like a Hail Mary or it's like a 1 in a million like Han Solo maneuver, or this
You saying
this this
This is the Kessel Run, but for God of
yeah,
War.
this is the Kessel Run of God for God of War, but with dick pics.
Oh Jesus! But honestly, I feel like that is a type of a Hail Mary thing. But honest to God, I will say this much though: not saying that it was a good move at all, but the fact
No,
that she reacted in disgust means that she did not like what she saw, bro. Which is a
didn't
shame.
appreciate it.
That's not a good look for that guy either, man. But
It's a shame because they didn't like Chris's.
yeah, what?
It's a shame because they didn't like your picks. That's why.
Yo. But nah, in all seriousness though,
Yeah.
obviously any form of harassment for developers working on a project is just asinine. Like I love video
Yeah.
games as much as the
It's
next
been
guy.
really rough this year too with
Yeah.
like the harassment on developers like all around. You know, Blizzard and whatever, they're gonna get shit talked every day. EA, they're gonna get
Oh
shit
yeah,
talked.
I love how it's like there are certain developers that are protected. And it's like let's not harass them. And then when you have someone like EA who just they tweeted something today, and everybody's on their ass, bro.
Yeah, it was about yeah. She's a 10, but they're only playing single player games. I believe that's what it said.
Oh,
Because
they were on him.
I saw you retweet that. They're getting their ass beat in the retweet.
Yo, it was brutal. But yeah, just like to finish up this whole topic, because there's not really much else. It's just one of those things that people got to learn to separate themselves from their love of this stuff. Like to me,
Absolutely.
I'll play God of War whenever it comes out, and if it comes out
Me too.
this fall or if it comes out next year, it's all good with me.
I'm more than positive it's coming out this year because Corey restated earlier today in a reply in the tweet section that it is not delayed. He's just saying that when they're ready for the announcements, they're ready for the announcements. So my guess is they're polishing out like a date. Like it might be pushed, like it might be like towards the very end of this year, but I'm more than positive it's gonna be this year. It just might be very end of this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, based off what we've been seeing and how they've been
Like
dripping out the updates of things. You
like a
know.
Miles Morales like kind of release date central.
Yeah, like I definitely think it's probably gearing towards October, November, that period of time, which PlayStation doesn't really drop games in the fall season. They usually leave that to the partners. The only time they ever really dropped a game in the fall is if they either launched a new console, and I think the latest they dropped a major game was Spider-Man, and that was early September, so that's still the summer. But yeah, I mean, just based off what I've been seeing, I still think it's on track for 2022. I still think it's gonna come out. We're gonna hear about it when they're ready to talk about it. But I do think it is very weird though, because I don't know what it is about some of these games, but I feel like it's only with God of War, because this kind of happened with the first game too. We didn't know the
they were
first
super
game.
secretive.
Yeah,
They were dumb secretive on the release date. I feel like they didn't release the release date for that like maybe like 4 or 5 month window because I remember pre-ordering it in February. I think that's when I had like the first release date, and then it
yeah,
came out
dude.
June, July, something like that.
Yeah. So how it worked with the first God of War, and I actually remember this because I was at the PlayStation Experience event.
Dude, this experience, man.
Yeah, man. It was the last one they did too. It was the last one they did. But they actually had Corey Barlog there, and they had this whole like sit him up on couches to talk about God of War. It was basically a panel. They didn't talk about shit in that panel, you know what I'm saying? Except like, yeah, I'm working on this game. That's it. And they were like teasing him like, oh, when's the release date? Are we gonna get it? And he's like, I don't know. And then we were wondering if we were gonna get a playable demo of PSX. We didn't get that. So they were playing their cards very close to the chest, and we didn't get that release date, I think, until 3 months, because the game came out in April. So I think January, February, we got the date. And then, you know, it was kind of confusing then, but it made sense when you watched the God of War Raising Kratos documentary. The game was originally supposed to come out, I think, in March, but they had to delay it another month. And I think that's what threw things off. So yeah, with a lot of these games, they're working on them until the 0 hour. And I think in the case of that, they're worried, okay, if we put out a release date for October and then something happens, we're going to have to delay it. Yeah. So
I think they're gonna get the for sure release date, and then they're probably going to announce obviously some sort of collector's edition, I think, as well too. and then throw it on the bingo card a special PS5 plate. I don't know.
Probably. So over under, what are you thinking? October or November?
I want to say November, honestly. Holiday season, Thanksgiving. There's not really a lot of games coming out. October's really packed as it is. I mean,
Extremely packed.
it's God of War. It'll sell either way, but you know how Sony plays. They try to go for maximum profits on these launch titles. I mean, look at Spider-Man when it released September of 2018. There
Yeah.
wasn't. If you go back and look at like the games that released in 20 and like in September, that was a very dry month outside of Spider-Man. So I'm honestly gearing for November. I'm like even a snitch. I don't know. You know
Yeah.
the Twitter.
The only credible insider.
Yeah, his like leaked release date for God of War was somewhere in November as well.
If I had to take a guess, I would say, just looking based off the calendar, if it is going to be November, probably November 11th.
The fated day. It's a Friday. So. It is a Friday.
It is a Friday.
It is a Friday.
The first God of War was on a Friday. Or the relaunch of God of War was on Friday.
Yeah, it's true. It is. You're all right. It is on a Friday, man. It would line up because I don't think they would do it for Thanksgiving for that week. I don't think they'd do that. And then the 18th,
dude, because here's the thing: if they release it on the 11th, they have a whole week where they can get that positive word of mouth, and then that leads into the Thanksgiving weekend
Black Friday shopping.
Exactly, people would be like, "I'll grab it." Whereas if it's the 18th, yeah, you still have that time, but people by that point have already made up their minds. I mean, obviously, no one really makes up their mind until the day of, but you have a lot of goodwill if you release it on the 11th, and. Oh man, oh man! If they do that, bro, Twitter is gonna be just it's gonna be a
field day. It's gonna be it's gonna be an anniversary, dude.
It's gonna be so brutal, and the takes from people are gonna be hilarious.
Oh man, I gotta go to the Starfield reveal date trailer after that.
Oh,
check the comment sections on YouTube.
Someone's gonna say Happy God of War Day on the Starfield trailer.
It's actually us taking off to go to God of War's release date.
Yo, but it's gonna be a really interesting time. Nevertheless, I'm excited for God of War Ragnarok because I loved the first one, and yeah, hoping all the best to everyone at Sony Santa Monica for dealing with all this nonsense.
Absolutely, me too.
Alrighty, so switching gears from PlayStation over to the world of Nintendo, Gabe.
Yes, sir.
Are you a fan of Nintendo news delivered directly to you?
When it's good.
So that basically means like a grand total of 5 Nintendo Directs, I assume.
Yeah, Twitter post.
Yeah, straight up. So there was another Nintendo Direct held this past week. It was so funny though because it was literally announced like similar to how Sony's been conducting their news. Nintendo is the type to be like, yo, we're just doing a Direct tomorrow. That's it. Y'all show up. Y'all have fun. It is what it is. Whereas before in the past, they used to make it an event like we're having a Nintendo Direct next week. Y'all, let's go be hyped. Bring your friends. Bring your popcorn. But yeah, it ended up being a Nintendo Mini Direct, which for those who are unaware, Nintendo Mini Directs are not the full-length Nintendo Directs where, you know, they announce all their big stuff. They're usually dedicated directs either to third parties, either to, you know, they have their own like little Nintendo Indie World directs, but they're basically ones that most people look at like, okay, you might get one big announcement, but everything else is either going to be updates or just small stuff that's probably going to be a multi-platform game, you know?
Right.
So we're just going to run down the list of some of the things that happened at the Direct. So we got a better look at the upcoming Monster Hunter Rise. I believe it's called the Sunbreak expansion, which we've known about for a while because Capcom's been talking about it. They did their own showcase, and they showed us the new roadmap of things. So if you're a fan of that, there's going to be more free title updates coming out in the fall and into 2023. We saw a bunch of third-party games from Dragon Quest Treasures. We saw just like a whole bunch of stuff that if you're a fan of video games, I think you'll have some enjoyment in here, but it's not really anything that's kind of like, yeah, that's crazy. As far as the new game announcements, Square Enix announced a brand new game, Harvest Stella, which is basically it's a lifestyle sim, similar to Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is like, you know, the biggest game
Yeah.
out in that genre, so everyone's trying to
Yeah.
either make their own game or they're trying to revitalize their older franchises to do that. So yeah, that's a brand new game announcement, and it's coming out November 4th, so that's pretty close. Return to Monkey Island is going to be a
Yes.
Switch console exclusive. It's going to debut exclusively on the Switch before it goes to other platforms. That was pretty friggin' surprising, and I don't know. Are you a fan of Monkey Island point and click games?
Yeah, I used to play I was actually really, really big into point and click games when I was younger, especially having like a crappier computer. And then as I got older, I went through like a whole phase of playing them out. So like, like Sam and Max and stuff like that. Like Monkey Island, I've played it's been a long time, but I played through the first and I played through the second one like ages ago. I like them. I think they're pretty cool games. They're I've always wanted to see what a sequel would have looked like in today's day, so it's pretty cool. And obviously, it being a technically, I don't know if it is anymore, but a Lucas Arts game. That was it was a fun times.
Yeah. Well, you got that to look forward to. And then we also got some other stuff like Little Noah Scion of Paradise, which is a roguelike action game. Evidently it's out on the Switch right now. Play as Noah, who along with her cat Zipper must explore ancient ruins, recruit allies, fight enemies and bosses, but if you're defeated, you have to start over. So of course, classic roguelite right there. Then we got something pretty surprising. Pac-Man World Repack, which is a remake of Pac-Man World, coming out on August 26th. It's gonna be Pac-Man, and I know, Gabe, you're a big fan of Pac-Man. I'm not the biggest Pac-Man fan. I mean, I think I've only ever played Miss Pac-Man and then Pac-Man Championship Edition DX on the PS3. That was my jam. But what are you feeling about this Pac-Man World remake?
It's pretty cool. I played it. I played this one on the PlayStation 2. It basically was like their attempt at Mario 64 style gameplay, but with Pac-Man, and it was it was really weird because it was different than like when like I believe it was the first of its kind for like as far as the Pac-Man franchise go, and it was just the Pac-Man and the kids got kidnapped by a ghost, and you're playing as Pac-Man running through. It's a platformer, so you're running through the world doing all what platform mechanics and whatnot, but in a Pac-Man aesthetic. And it was pretty fun. Outside of that, I've always just dabbled in Miss Pac-Man and then regular Pac-Man, and then the more recently a little too fun, but Dave and Buster's little Pac-Man, a little too much
Oh,
fun there, a little too schlumpty. They had a little Pac-Man battle royale, but
Dave and Buster's got some good games, man. I remember
they really do. They
we
really
went
do.
there. We went there after Comic-Con one year because they were the first place that you can play Pokken tournament. You remember the Pokemon
Oh
fighting
shit!
game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So being able to play that like way before it came out on the Wii U was crazy. And then
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
yeah, they had a whole bunch of stuff there. They always got the arcade stuff. I don't know if they still do now, like in terms of
They still
those
got.
games, like the newer games from Japan, the cabinets and all that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. So last time I went was literally like a month before all like the big shutdowns happened,
Hmm.
and what we were playing was it was the Marvel phone game Contest of Champions, the
Oh,
Marvel
okay.
fighting game,
Yeah.
but they made a cabinet version of it, and the cool part of it was that every time you guys completed a match, it printed out or I don't know, I would say printed out there, it was already in the machine, but it shot out a trading card for the
Mm.
game, and there was different rarities and different types, and they're really like good looking cards. So
Hmm.
me and so last time I played, I was just getting annihilated playing this game all day, just printing out cards,
There you go.
I was trying to get Spider-Man and just playing over and over again. But yeah, they got really good games. Like I always told myself, is there even really a reason to go to arcades now? And like, man, every time I go to Dave and Buster's, they always got really good ass games.
I definitely want to, because the complex where my gym is, they have a Dave and Buster's there, and I might maybe stroll in one day, see what kind of games they got. Because last time I went was like I want to say 2019, and I was playing,
Wow.
I think like DDR and a whole bunch of just random stuff. They had a Jurassic Park ride because with the movie that was out.
I remember that.
The
Yeah,
I think it was the
yeah, yeah.
VR. They had a bunch of VR stuff there,
I'd
so
always hear people screaming on that.
it was fun. I'm not gonna lie because it lifted you up and it went all around, and I love those type of things. So yeah, might have to take a trip to Dave & Buster's. In terms of other games they announced, there's this game called Blank. You play as a fawn and a wolf cub who must work together to make their way home. It's completely text free, so you're experiencing the game through the visuals, and it's got local and online co-op. So that could be a fun game to co-op with your friends, something a little more artistic, and it comes out February 2023. But yeah, so they had a bunch of smaller announcements here, very niche sort of things for people who are interested
Hey,
and
you
stuff
forgot
like
about the
that.
best one.
Oh, you're right. Super Bomberman R2. That's right. Yeah. Super Bomberman R2, new Bomberman game. I don't really play the Bomberman titles. But the castle mode lets teams of up to 15 players blast their way to a treasure chest, while one player acts as the defense to try to stop them. So that's a pretty cool mode. And it comes to Nintendo Switch in 2023. But other than that, what we saw at this event were a lot of ports, which, if you go to a Nintendo Direct, I know a lot of people. Okay, so a lot of people, myself included, like to rag on the Switch because at a lot of these events, it is basically a port direct.
Yeah,
it's a lot of games that either existed on older platforms or are current games, and they're finally making their way to the Switch. A lot of people say, oh, why would you want to play those games on the Switch with the worst resolution, worst frame rate? And the thing is, I get it. I understand that. Obviously, if I'm buying a game on the Switch, I'm not buying it because it runs the best on it. I like playing games on the Switch because it's portable.
Portable. Yep.
And that's honestly what it is, So it's just, I accepted that when I bought my Switch 5 years ago. And as much as I would love a Switch successor that can run it at so much better settings, I'll just accept that, okay, if I'm buying this game on Switch, I want it for the portability. And boy, we got a bunch of them. So before I announce the new ones, I want to touch on the stuff that we already knew about. We just didn't have a date. Shadow dropped on the eShop, Portal Companion Collection. Which brings both Portal 1 and Portal 2 onto the Nintendo Switch. It has local, split screen, and online multiplayer as well. Now, this was very strange. And this just goes to show how weird of a company Valve is at times. You would think that if they're bringing back Portal, that they would go ahead and re-release this thing on everything. But as far as I understand, it's still a Switch exclusive, right?
Yeah. No, it is. I think we've had the orange box on PlayStation and Xbox, but as far as this Portal collection goes, it's just a Switch, and if you want to count PC as well, but other than that, it's just a Switch, which is really kind of weird out of all things considering.
Yeah, I feel like Valve is that type of company where it's like they got a Switch dev kit and they're like, what game would work best on the Switch? Oh, Portal, because the Joy-Cons and split screen play. If anything, that's probably what it is. But yeah, if you guys have not played Portal yet, it's been available for what? Portal 2 is 11 years old now.
Yeah,
Portal 1 is 15.
I remember when that came out for the Xbox 360. That was good times, and everyone was hyped about it because I don't remember if Portal 1 was available for the 360 then.
It came in the orange box. It wasn't even the main selling point. It was just this other game because people bought it for Team Fortress 2 and what other game was in there?
Team Fortress 2. Oh, Half-Life.
Wow. I can't believe I forgot that. And then Portal was there, but Portal ended up being the standout hit of that collection. And it's awesome that people get a chance to play it. I might pick it up at some point. I haven't played the Portal games in a very long time. So yeah, if you guys have not played Portal, go ahead and check that out. Oh, and real quick, we got a $5 super chat coming in from the homie Christopher. Thank you so much, bro. And this is in regards to the God of War Ragnarok news. We'll touch on this real quick. Step 1, announce the game in 2020 with a 2021 release date. Step 2, don't release the game in 2021 and make people question whether it'll make it to 2022. Yeah, it's it goes back to what we were saying before when it comes to video game development. Nothing is concrete until we can boot that thing up,
It's true.
Yep.
It's true.
Alrighty. And then okay, so I'm going to leave the last two because these are very exciting and I want to rant a bit. But this
Yeah.
this one is exciting for all the best reasons in the world. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. Now, let me tell you about this, bro. So I'm a fan of Mega Man. I like playing Mega Man games as much as the next guy. But to me, Battle Network holds a very special place in my heart. That was the series that I think I put the most amount of time into versus the regular Mega Man games. And, you know, unfortunately, Capcom really hasn't done anything with that. They've ported over every single damn Mega Man mainline title multiple times, but Battle Network has always remained untouched. And now we're getting a full-on Legacy Collection. It comes with all the games. It's going to release on Nintendo Switch, PS4. I'm not sure about PC, but most likely it will. Unfortunately, there is no Xbox version available, which I thought was very strange because there go fact checker Gabe, thank you very much.
I'm checking. I was looking at Harvestella and I saw it was on Steam. So I was surprised to see that.
Right. But it's very strange that this is not on Xbox because here's the thing. It'd be one thing if, like, let's say, for example, the previous Mega Man collections didn't sell on Xbox. I could totally understand why they wouldn't put it out on Xbox because, you know, they are a business at the end of the day, and if the return on the investment is not there, why would you keep doing it? But the strangest thing is that they kept bringing over all those other games. Like, they brought the Ace Attorney trilogy to Xbox. They brought multiple Mega Man collections to Xbox because there was a few of them, and they just choose not to bring this one. And I got a question, how much money are they really investing in these ports? Because remember, these are Game Boy Advance games. These are, you know, like literally games that are megabytes in size, and there's not going to be that much. There's not going to be that much touch up to it. So to me, it's very strange why it's not on Xbox. I mean, maybe they had a combined budget of $5 for this, and they were just like,
a combined budget of $5.
I mean, listen, man, when all the budget is going to the Resident Evil 4 remake, there's cutbacks got to be there. But yeah, it was very strange that they put out all these ports. And then for some of the newer stuff like the Mega Man Battle Network Collection, and then also the brand new Ace Attorney game also skipped Xbox. I mean, I don't know if these were just in development beforehand and they're finally coming out now. I have no idea. But yeah, hopefully it does get announced for Xbox at some point down the line. Maybe if they see the interest is there. Because
it is coming on PC, by the way.
Oh, so it's coming to every platform except Xbox.
Which, yeah, and the game by the game article by the Escapist, it's in the big captions. It says Switch, PS4, PC.
Oof! Ouch. So yeah, Xbox Mega Man fans, you might have to just take the L on this one for the time being, and fingers crossed we'll see what happens. Dude, it's the strangest thing because I could understand if it was like any other franchise and the sales weren't there, but it's like, bro, these are Game Boy Advance games. What are you doing, Capcom? I don't know.
They just don't like Microsoft. Microsoft did something dirty with them. I don't know if it was the Lost Planet or
yo, bring back Lost Planet, bro. Yo,
dude, just bring back Lost Planet. Lost Planet 2 was a goddamn beauty.
Oh my god, yes.
Bring that game that it was basically third-person shooter Monster Hunter.
It was the big budget Monster Hunter we didn't know we wanted and we didn't know we needed until it was too late and it was too far gone. I still got that game.
Even a remaster. Me too. When I got my Series X, that was the first thing I played on it.
Dude, are the servers still up on that game?
Yeah, the servers were still up, dude.
Holy shit, we might got to co-op that. We might have to co-op that shit for a game night.
What they need to do is like remaster that, bring that back, scale it up the resolution so it doesn't look too blocky on current, the current standard. Bring back the non-peer-to-peer servers. Bam, I will throw my whole wallet. I'll throw my child at you. Like, I'll do the whole nine.
Not the Little Miss, he will part ways with the Little Miss for a 4K Lost Planet game.
Yeah,
you know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is, I feel like that type of game could appeal to a lot of people who aren't into Monster Hunter, because obviously like shooty bang bang.
Shoot bang bang. Yeah,
but then Capcom goes and they do something like Exo Primal, which I'm like, what are you doing?
Right, dude. God damn, next year it'll be 10 years since the last Lost Planet came out.
Jesus, I didn't really play Lost Planet 3 like that.
It was
that era where they every third game in the series tried to be like Call of Duty, and I was like, I'm good,
Lost
man.
Planet. Yeah, Lost Planet didn't really do well. It had a really like mixed reception. They moved away from like the whole co-op and went to like a more hardened like story, and it just what the transitions they did just didn't work. The crowd, what was it? The fan base that it brought in, that it appeased to, it did not appeal to what they were used to. It was not the same game. You might as well just rebranded it into another game.
Kind of like what happened with Dead Space 3.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yep.
perfect analogy. Perfect analogy.
Straight up. But yeah, we'll see what happens later down the road. Hopefully the Mega Man games do end up on Xbox at some point. The Legacy Collection does come out in 2023, and if you buy digitally, you can pick and choose which batch of games you want, which I thought was very strange, because it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Because to me, it's like when you buy like these collections, you buy them for all the games, and I'm not really too picky if I don't like one or two of those titles.
It's like on the Kingdom Hearts collection. I skipped the mobile game. Why the fuck am I gonna watch that shit?
Yeah, exactly. We got a $5 Australian super chat coming in from the homie Valkian24. Thank you, Maddie. It's still weird they haven't re-released the 3DS Ace Attorney games to other platforms. Bro, Capcom is so weird. Like,
right? Yeah, they are. They really are. Where's my beautiful Joe?
Bro, they ain't bringing that shit back. You got to go deep into the trenches to bring that back. Got to go to war for that.
I thought you were gonna say I need a time machine.
Dude, you might have to. You might have to do some digging. You won't find it.
They really are fucking weird. If you think about it, if you really think about the titles that the licensing and the titles they have, and the just everything about it, just from how iconic most of their games are, and you go and look at today's day and dates and look at when the last game was, or when the last game that wasn't a collection remaster out, it's sad.
it's very sad, and you would think that with the renewed interest of all these remasters and remakes, that would be like, hey, take a chance on a new game. I mean, it's so sad that we got to look at Activision as the blueprint in this case, because they remastered the Crash games, and then what happened? We got Crash 4, and then everything got folded into Call of Duty. So maybe that's not the best analogy out there, but I digress. They gave us
to the Call of Duty minds you go, Crash Bandicoot dev.
They legit sent all those devs into the fucking gulag, bro. I can't believe that.
They sent them all. They straight up came in their house, bagged them with a balaclava. They woke up in an airplane with them. It was like that scene. You've seen Predators, right? The one with Adrian Brody.
Oh, was that 2010? Is that 2010?
Yeah, 2010, where they're on the game plan. It's like the opening of the movie, him waking up and he's falling through the sky, and he's got the parachute that's getting ready to activate, that automatically activates.
Bro,
that was all the devs falling into the gulag.
Dude, I and that's how sad it is. So I remember when I read that statement, like every Activision developer is working on Call of Duty. My soul died so many different ways.
Same.
But yeah, it's very strange how these companies make decisions, like Capcom, Atlas, and speaking of Square Enix, Gabe, you want to talk about really strange decisions? While this is very awesome news, the fact that Nier Automata, the end of Yorha edition, is coming to the Switch. Mm-hmm. What's very strange is that, Gabe, this is a native port on the Switch. Yep.
Oh, we're gonna talk about native ports.
We gotta talk about native ports. So Nier Automata, if you haven't played it, it's one of my favorite games of the generation. Very awesome game.
I have never played it.
Gabe's never played it. He's got to fix that. He's got to fix that one of these days.
I'm uncultured. I'm very aware of B and her luxurious butt and
hell yeah,
the camera angles. I'm very aware of the culture of that woman in that game. I'm very aware. I'm just not aware of the actual gameplay. Well, I've seen the game, but I'm not aware of my own gameplay, so you know what I'm trying to say.
I feel it. It sounds too much damage control. That's all I'm saying.
That's as PR as it gets.
I feel it. Listen. Hey, podcast takes off. We'll have a PR team for all the statements we make. That's not what he meant. It's not what he fucking meant. But yeah. So Nier Automata, out of nowhere, is making its way to the Switch. The game came out on PS4 back in 2017. It has since launched on both Xbox and PC. But if you do want to play this game, I recommend you play it on consoles. Do not play it on PC because Square just does not know how to port their PC games. You know what the funny thing is?
They've gotten better. They've gotten a lot better because they went back and they removed the DMR on Monster Hunter because the DMR was just ruining.
That's Capcom.
That's Capcom. Oh,
yeah.
Never mind.
So
yeah, sorry about Square. Never mind. I thought we're still thinking on Mega Man topic. Yeah, no, Square's awful. Yeah, Square's terrible with freaking with their ports. Absolutely.
It's a very sad situation to the point where, ironically, like the Xbox Game Pass version of Nier somehow runs better than the Steam version.
I saw that, and it's because that's where I was coming at. It is because it skips the DMR. That's why
the DRM.
The DMR.
This man was saying the DMR fucking BMR.
We're talking about Call. Yeah, we're all talking about Call of Duty. It skips the Nevo, and the Nevo, like, for whatever reason, it basically runs almost like the game again in the background, but like a slightly modified version almost. It's essentially the best way I could explain, like,
it tanks your performance.
Yeah, it tanks your performance. It's the best way to explain how it runs. And on a lot of games, it ends up ruining the performance of the game. So while they say, oh yeah, the specs are this, it's actually something higher. And if it's a really like graphically intense game or something that's, current generation and you're on current hardware, it's technically not even really playable until a couple more years there's upgrades to play on it. So it's really like, I've always been the kind of person like, okay, fine, like if you have like some sort of some sort of piracy block on it, that's great. But once that shit's cracked, you guys just need to remove it. Like once it's cracked, there's no point in keeping it on anymore. And Square's like, Square's gross with it. Square's like insert gag noises with that shit. I don't understand them. What was it? I always call it the wrong name, but this is how.
Yeah, Gabe is like all about like mispronunciations of things. Like,
I
gotta bring it up. I gotta fucking bring it up. Did you guys know? Considering Spider-Man 2 just celebrated its 18th anniversary, which is crazy to think about. Did you guys know that up until the year 2016, that our good friend shut up, quote, DMR, end quote, Gabe. Shut up, quote, This man thought Sam Raimi's name for the past however many years Gabe was alive at that point. He called this man Sam Rami. As in, like, someone's gonna ram his eye. I was like, this man took out a whole letter from his name, Sam Raimi. And I remember because we were talking about the Warcraft movie, and at one point Sam Raimi was supposed to be involved, and we were doing voice messages back and forth, and I was just like, what? Who's Sam Raimi? Who's he talking about? And then I was like, Gabe, don't you mean Sam Raimi? And it was like glass broke in his mind for the first time. He's like, oh, that's how you pronounce his name. So this whole DMR, Denevo, all that shit, this is not news for Gabe. We got to get Gabe hooked on phonics. Like that's going to be our next stretch goal for Gabe. Hooked on phonics, man.
Oh god, dude. Oh, I wish I could forget that. It's funny you say that because I literally brought that story up at work today because we were talking about Into the Madness of the Multiverse. And
now he just did it again. Into the Madness of the Multiverse. Like, what the fuck is that? In the multiverse. And that's not a bad title. It actually sounds like an album title. Into the Madness of the Multiverse. I like that.
You guys just need to pack me up.
Just straight up. First Little Caesars and now this. Jesus, Gabe. It ain't looking good, bro.
It's like the scene from Titanic. Just let me go.
Just let me go. Let me go. But yeah, back on point to this whole situation. It's very strange because this is gonna be running natively on the Switch, which is a contrast to the last batch of games Square re-released on it, which, as everybody knows, was the Kingdom Hearts anthology. Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and Kingdom Hearts 3. They released all of those games as cloud versions, meaning you still got to spend the full price, like $60 on all those games. Mind you, it's not $60 for everything. It's $60 for one collection. So $60 this, $60 that, $60 for Kingdom Hearts 3. And you don't even get an opportunity nor the privilege to own the game. And I mean, this is going to go into my whole rant on cloud-based gaming, but listen, people complain about digital game ownership, but I'd rather that because that's tangible for the most part.
Yeah.
You know,
can download it.
You can download it versus cloud streaming where if there's something going on with their servers or if they decide to shut it off, you're done. So you basically spent $60 to rent the privilege. And if you don't got good internet, you're essentially fucked in that respect.
Yeah, that's dude. This is the most upsetting thing because I will say this. While I don't play my Switch as much as I should, I only play it for a couple of the big titles here and there. You know, I'm eyeballing Xenoblade Chronicles. Kingdom Hearts, I definitely would have played as a portable game. And the sad thing about that is that the only way you can play Kingdom Hearts portable right now is by downloading Epic Games onto your Steam Deck and buying it on there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We go ahead and we go ahead and find the workaround. We out.
I just can't believe it, dude. Because you got like, I don't understand how. Because I know it's off topic, but like Kingdom Hearts is not a new game by any chance besides 3. So like, I think you even made this like a comment on this on Twitter a while back, talking about how Kingdom Hearts it came out all the way back in the early 2000s. We're talking about an almost 20-year-old game, and it's running on a cloud-based version. Like, what is that?
So, from my understanding, from what some people are saying, because unless somebody actually comes out and says it, we're just running with assumptions. But from my understanding, looking at the Kingdom Hearts games, if I had to guess, the reason why they did it on cloud is, number one, Square Enix had no desire to bring these games to Switch natively. If they did, they would have worked on this years ago. If anything, I think that because they have this cloud technology built in, because they were using it for their Western games like Guardians of the Galaxy. Formerly theirs, it's not theirs anymore because they sold off Eidos, but they were using that technology already. So like, you know what? Let's just make some quick cash. Sora is in Kingdom Hearts. Let's time this with that release and put the Kingdom Hearts games on Switch. And if I had to guess, obviously it's because they were cheapening out. And also the file sizes for those games. I don't know if any of y'all have played them, but those are they're not insignificant file sizes. They may be PS2 games, but because they're remasters and everything, and they have a whole buttload of content, they're up there. I want to say like 50 something gigs. And when you factor in the Switch's storage is internal is like 32. Yeah, they weren't going to try to mess with that. And then trying to put that on a cartridge, would they want to put it on a cartridge and have to worry about spending the extra money because of capacity. So I understand from that point of view, but to the same degree, to the same token, other developers have found workarounds for this stuff.
Yeah.
Other developers have ported their games. They've done workarounds with the file sizes. If you really want this game to sell, you're going to find a way. You're going to utilize compression technology. You're going to do what you got to do, or just release those games digital. I know some people will be pissed off because it's like, I don't want to do that. They want the physical. And yeah, maybe you can be like, hey, listen, we'll sell it physically to you guys, but because of cost of manufacturing of cartridges, you'll have to buy the collection separately, which I don't think. Listen, Kingdom Hearts fans, we have bought the series so many times over.
Yes.
If you were to tell me you could get all the games physically on Switch, but you have to buy 3 different collections, I'll buy 3 different collections on Switch. Put it on the Square Enix store for like $150. I will buy that because I've already I own Kingdom Hearts on PS2. I own it on PS3. I own it on PS4. I own it on Xbox. Like, I'm gonna get it on PC just so I can mess around with the Steam Deck. People will do that. So,
congrats by the way on getting that Steam Deck.
Yes. For those who do not know, my Steam Deck email came in today, and your boy secured himself a Steam Deck. I'm so excited. From my understanding, if you order it, you should be getting it within like a week or so. Obviously, the 4th of July holiday might delay things, but either way, your boy's got it finally, and I cannot wait, man.
Dude, that was like watching someone get waterboard on Twitter every time you posted about you not getting a Steam Deck,
My
and then you
God.
see other people get a Steam Deck, and you're like, I literally got the pre-order in like the day of. Like,
Yep.
you're like, how am I so far behind?
Yo, it was rough, but you know what? Perseverance is key in this case.
When do you get that, by the way?
So the shipping, they didn't really say anything. They'll say we'll update you when it ships out. But from the people I know who got their Steam Decks like in the past month, they said it only took like 3 to 5 days. So
Wow. You gonna do a video on it?
yeah, I'm gonna unbox it. I'm gonna play around with it for like 2 weeks, and I'm gonna get
Yes.
some impressions, man. Because listen, now should have been the
Yeah.
time where I got my Switch Pro, but since Nintendo don't want to do that,
Dude, you got your OLED. That is your Switch Pro.
man, boy, if you don't stop, that make things worse, bro. It's like, why would I want to look at Xenoblade, a game that said 392p on an OLED, man? That shit gonna look disgusting. Oh my god.
Yeah, hurt your eyeballs.
Straight up, bro. But yeah, Nier Automata coming to the Switch. That's awesome. I'm excited for people to play it. It's gonna be really interesting now with the Steam Deck out. The comparisons between how games run on the Steam Deck, which is still only $100 more than the Switch. And I say still because the Switch has never had an official price drop, so it's still 300 bones. You know.
Yeah. The performance on that thing's pretty impressive, though. I watched a lot of videos on it.
Oh yeah, Valve definitely. They're not. They had to. They're eating some L's.
Like there was one point where the Steam Deck was running Elden Ring better than it was on most PCs.
Oh Jesus! Have they fixed Elden Ring on PC yet? Because
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, I played through it with like minimum issues. Like the biggest issues I had was like when you first go into the opening area Limgrave, there's definitely some chop. And then there was like only like a couple areas that were like a little rough. Then again, granted, I'm playing on way higher end hardware than most people, so that I have to kind of pick and choose. My sister played it through the gaming laptop that I got her for Christmas, and she played it. I asked her, she played it just fine. So I don't know if it's like a hardware thing or a software issue, but my sister played through the whole thing on her gaming laptop with no issues at all. So
that's good.
Very weird, but the Steam Deck overall, from my understanding from like the performance breakdowns of videos, it played it better than most gaming PCs out there, which is actually astonishing.
That's crazy. All I remember is one of my friends, he downloaded it, he was streaming it, he swung his sword, this frame rate went from 60 to 38. He's like, I'm uninstalling this, I can't play this. I was like, damn, that was the first day, so I could understand how pissed off someone might be. But yeah, so Nier Automata, if you guys haven't played it and you want to play it portably, it comes out on the Switch this October. And then, arguably, the biggest announcement of the night, of the show.
The one been waiting for.
The one we've been waiting for so many years, ever since I bought a Switch. I was saying they got to put this franchise on there. And we finally got the confirmation. Persona 3, 4, and 5 Royal are hitting the Switch. So this is following the news that they were coming out on Xbox and PC as well. People were wondering, are they coming to the Switch too? They wanted to wait for this partner direct, and they announced it. So yeah, it's going to be in line with all the other versions of it. So now literally you can get Persona on everything, which I think is fantastic. Persona is a fantastic series, and now it's so funny. Now it's so funny because Persona 4 and Persona 3 are now portable again, which is just like everything is full circle. Man.
It's pretty exciting, man. I'm excited for you because, man, you were just like waiting. It was like you weren't. It's like you knew, but you didn't know. But you also felt like it's just a matter of time. Yep. It's not really a matter of where. It's more of a matter of when.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's awesome. Similar to the Xbox and PC news, Persona 5 Royal is going to be the first game to hit the Nintendo Switch this October 21st, and then Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 Portable are going to be coming out sometime next year. What's really awesome is that, well, this was in the original press releases as well, but you're going to be able to play through the games in both English and Japanese. So for the purist out there, which I don't know, the Persona series, the thing about the Persona games is they arguably, in my opinion, when it comes to JRPGs, they've got the best voice acting around. Like it doesn't sound as cringe as, like, let's say a Kingdom Hearts or something like that.
Oh man.
You know?
Oh man. What's happening? Riku!
Like
Uh,
I've never heard so many anime
the
grunts in a
freaking
game,
dude,
bro.
freaking Tarzan will always make me laugh. He who ooh ooh ha.
Not Clayton. Not Clayton. Yo, shout out to the first Kingdom Hearts, man. I don't care. I don't care, man. I'm gonna play through that and I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it on my Steam Deck, sponsored by Valve.
I felt like I was playing it for the first time again.
Dude, it brings you back. It brings you back to a more simpler time in gaming where Sora just like he had dead eyes, and that was for very serious cutscenes. But yeah, so the cool thing is Persona 5 Royal is going to be re-released physically on these platforms. So that's awesome, which means I got 2 more versions to buy, one on Xbox and one on Switch. But if I'm being serious, and this is my dilemma right now, Gabe. My dilemma is this, right?
Yes.
So replaying Persona 5, I'm definitely going to replay it on Xbox because I love the fact that xCloud is there and it's on Game Pass. So for me, I can get way more mileage playing. Exactly. I can get way more mileage playing it now because it's cloud and it's a JRPG. So it doesn't take a lot. You don't have to be as input specific. But I'm gonna buy a physical copy on the Switch because with all the time I've been talking, I've been like, listen, I gotta support it on the Switch. I need it.
I'm gonna see it back there in the background with your collection already,
bro. Listen, if they put out a new special edition, it's over. Just forget about it, bro.
Wrap it up. It's done. 2022 is over.
Like Grogu's gonna have to move, and I'm gonna put I'm gonna have 3 different copies of Persona 5 right here. Like, do you really need that much? No, but I love it. But unfortunately, and this is the bad news, it seems like Persona 4 Gold and Persona 3 Portable will not be receiving physical editions, which I think is very asinine. Just
that is
put it on one cartridge. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was literally exactly what you were gonna say. I was gonna say the same thing. Put it on one cartridge. The game's how old? Exactly what you're gonna say.
Straight up, man. But either way, it's very exciting. Persona's coming out on these consoles now. Switch owners can find another franchise to port beg, which we got to think like what would be the next franchise, because they got all the Final Fantasies, they got Persona. Like obviously the next big push is Legend of Heroes.
Yeah.
But even then, I feel like that's still very niche by comparison to what Persona is now.
Are we talking like RPGs?
Probably RPGs, yeah, because that's like the bread and butter. People like that.
Tales series.
Yeah, you could. Well, they did get Tales of Vesperia remastered, but I think that was it.
Outside of that, Tales series would be a really big one. Tales of Arise on there would be pretty cool.
It would be, but
I mean, just in general, the Tales series would be pretty cool. That's like one big franchise I could think of.
Tales of Xillia 1 and 2. I'm trying to think other like. I mean, there's other things you do like Mega Man Legends. You could do the other what was that other one? Was it Mega Man? I didn't play it, but was it Mega Man Star Force, Shining Force? One of the two. Someone will correct me.
One of the two.
One of something with a star and a shine and a force and a something. It's one of those
with
things.
A 4 and a something.
Yep, straight up.
These game titles are out of control. That needs to be a whole show. You all need to stop making these game titles so ridiculous.
Straight up, man. Listen, royalty free right there. But
royalty free.
Yeah, so that was the Nintendo Direct. So like I said, a couple good announcements here if you are a fan of video games. A lot of good ports if you are a fan of playing things portably on the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, Persona on Switch. Fantastic.
I thought of one Yakuza would be cool.
Yeah. Yakuza would be really good on the Switch, and I mean most of those are PS3 games, so yeah, we should make Yakuza the next big push on the Switch. Let's go, let's get it.
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's set it up. I was thinking really hard. I'm like, what are we missing? I know we're missing another big RPG.
I know. It's so funny how I didn't think of that at first, and you just see this is why we have co-hosts. This is why we have Gabe. Straight up. So yeah, Yakuza, the Ys games. Well, I mean the Switch has a couple of Ys games. They got a couple. They always get the new ones too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that basically wraps up the Nintendo Direct. And that's it for all of the news for this week in gaming, guys. Like I said, it's been a pretty sparse week. That's what happens in the summer season. But now what I want to do is move on to a topic that we wanted to cover 2 weeks ago, but there was just so much other stuff to get through. We didn't really give it, we wouldn't really have the time to give it its own proper shake. And I want to talk about the situation that's been going on with Blizzard and Diablo. Now, Gabe, when we did the Sweaty Cast last year, we did have a little bit of a segment where we talked about. I remember it was Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft, where there was like that big exodus of WoW players into 14, and it crashed the servers. Yeah, and there was like WoW players saying like, I'm done with this game, I'm moving into 14. And you spoke about the state of Blizzard last year and what was going on. Now we are a year plus removed from that event, and obviously with the impending acquisition, if it goes through, probably will, of the whole Activision Blizzard suite into the Microsoft fold. We've learned more about the Diablo games. We've had a Diablo game. We had 2 Diablo games released since. We had the Diablo 2 remaster, and then we had Diablo Immortal on mobile. What is your whole stance on what's been going on, first off, with the state of Diablo as of late, going into Diablo 4, Diablo Immortal, and then just the whole state of Blizzard with this impending Activision acquisition? So go ahead, Gabe. What you got to say?
Well, I would like to say one thing before we transition into this whole segment. Just one thing. Chris, can you do me a huge favor right now?
I can do you a huge favor.
Can you go check outside your front door?
What did you do?
Can you please go check outside your front door?
Is this serious? Like, what the fuck did you? Oh no! What the fuck did you do?
I'm being serious.
What the fuck did he do?
JD knows. That's all.
Oh no! All right, okay. All right, I'm gonna go see what the fuck just happened. I'm actually kind of scared. I think I have a good idea of what it is, but okay, I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna go see. So y'all just, I don't even know what to say.
I guess I'll start drinking this wine. Chris rants. I can make it through it smoothly. I love you too, JD. Oh man, he gonna learn today. he's gonna learn today. He's gonna learn today. Oh no, we'll get into the rant. I'll wait for Chris to get back. I don't want him to interrupt during mid rant. I think the surprise that Chris is getting.
What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? Yo, I knew it. I fucking knew it. Okay. All right. I don't even know what's going on right now. Like, what? So this man Gabe told me to go outside, check my front door, and I'm thinking, oh no, he done did something. And I was thinking, what could he have done? Especially something on such short notice. This man had Little Caesars delivered. This man had Little Caesars delivered. What did he get? Oh my god. This man really ordered Little Caesars. I can't, bro. Little fucking Caesars, bro. It's not just pizza. He got okay, so this is what he ordered. A stuffed crust pepperoni pizza, an Italian cheese bread, cookie dough brownie M&M, crazy sauce, and Caesar's dip. Oh my god.
Now, just a reminder, Chris, that ranch technically has mayo in it.
I'm down with that. Say less. All right, so I got to do a live taste test on the podcast?
Yeah, let's go.
Can we get some pizzas in the chat for everybody watching? Yo, oh my god. I gotta tweet about this shit first, bro. Oh my god. Bro.
Oh, dude, Dude, I've been planning it for so long. For so long.
I don't even want to do it, yo. Oh my god.
I was telling JD like forever ago. I was like, what do you think of this idea? He was like, do it. He even sent me $10. He was like, here. He's like, I'll chip in on it. Make sure you get him some ranch. And I was like, sure.
Oh my god.
Oh
god, Lee.
The sweaty cast is the gift that keeps on giving.
All right, here we go. So we've got, and that's the crazy thing. The closest Little Caesars is like in the Bronx. So this dude drove far. All right. So we got shout out pizza in the chat. We won the battle. Not yet. So this is the pepperoni stuffed crust.
And you know, I got mine here too. You know.
All right. So this will be the taste test. Oh,
damn,
look, it's already falling apart.
Yours looks way better than mine. What the hell?
Jesus, must be. Well, we're going to see. All right, hold on.
Like,
this shit's falling apart.
Look at mine compared to yours.
Oh God! All right, I'm trying to get a good slice that's not falling apart, Gabriel. Yeah, everything's falling apart. All right, I got a good slice.
Was it out in the cold too long?
Oh no! All right, so here we go. I got a slice. Got a slice. Oh Jesus! All right, here we go. Taste test. I have not had Little Caesars in probably like 6 years.
And I even got you the sauce for the crust and the bread. It all combines together. Okay. Damn, yours looks way better. Like your slice compared, I'm already eating my slice, but look at your slice compared to my slice.
Yeah, wow. So is there a particular way I gotta do it? Is there a way I gotta do that? Is there a way I gotta do it?
It's just stuffed crust. How do you eat Pizza Hut stuffed crust?
No, I mean, do I gotta like dip it for maximum tastage or something? I don't know.
If you like marinara sauce or ranch, yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go, guys. Here's the verdict. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm gonna eat the whole thing first before I get my verdict because I gotta get the stuffed crust.
It's like that it's like that video of Paul Rudd. Who would have thought? Look at us.
I'm almost done.
Hey, look at us.
I'm so.
Hey, look at us, not me.
This is like the chewiest pizza I've ever had. What the fuck? Bro. All right, I'm almost done. All right. Bro, that is the chewiest pizza I've ever had in my life, my guy. Nah, holy fuck, bro. Oh my God.
You don't like it chewy?
Not too chewy. Like
I like mine like doughy chewy. I don't like it too crunchy.
All right, so now I gotta try the cheese bread. Try the cheese bread out before I open the box backwards. Jesus Christ.
I think a bit of a crunch. I think everyone's definition of pizza is all going to be very, very different.
True. All right, let's try this Italian cheese bread. Let's see how this is.
This is the moment we all been waiting for.
It's got an interesting flavor to it, actually.
That is really good in the sauce.
The sauce?
Yeah, that's really good dipped in the sauce. There's some sort of seasoning blend that makes it so good.
Okay. Oh wow, so this is the M&M brownie thing.
Those are pretty good too.
That sounds goated. You just eat it cold, or you gotta warm it up?
You can actually do it both, either or.
Okay.
I've done it both.
So, do I use the dipping ranch for that one? Damn, they give you a shit ton of marinara. Look
The
at
ranch or the yeah, that's the crazy sauce as they call it. Just marinara sauce.
that. What makes it so crazy?
Camel semen.
That explains y'all Little Caesar stands. I'll just be hopped up on semen this whole time. All right, let's try this ranch. I'd say it's really good with the ranch, actually.
Chris is a pizza connoisseur. I never realized it. I know he says a sour candy connoisseur, but the way he describes pizza, dude, I don't know. I think Chris is a pizza connoisseur.
It's got interesting buttery texture to it. All right. So I've had a slice of the stuffed crust pizza. I've had a piece of the Italian cheese bread. Let me try it with this marinara sauce. They said it's crazy. If it's not crazy, Gabe. If it's not crazy, let's see.
It's not crazy. You get your money back.
Okay. Let's see. It's not bad, marinara.
No.
It's not bad. It's okay. Bro, are we really eating pizza on a live stream? What's going on? Oh my god. People coming to the stream seeing like, all right, what's happening here? Let's talk about God of War. What the fuck? These guys are eating pizza. Yo, I want my money back. You want professional? You want professional, motherfucker?
It's like the trailer for The Rise of Skywalker. Long have I awaited.
You've been playing this for 2 weeks, I bet.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Straight up. Oh my god. All right. Okay. So. Okay. That's right, Johan. In celebration of pizza time 18 years ago. Yeah, perfect. Good job, Gabe.
Yeah.
Good job. Even if that wasn't planned. All came together. All right, so
Pizza time.
that'd be funny if it was Tobey Maguire at the door. Oh my god. If you somehow arrange that, I'd be like, yo, look guys, look what we got. Fucking Tobey Maguire.
That would just be too perfect.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's put
The connoisseur.
All right. Okay. So, y'all ready for the review?
We're ready. I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready for the harsh experience.
I've never had pizza that's been that chewy before, man. Like, I felt like I was going back and forth with that pizza. Like, I was taking it one way, it was taking another way, right? I will say this, though. It's definitely better than Little Caesars I had 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Definitely better. I don't know how much better, but I will say if they were both in vicinity, I would still take Papa John's or Domino's over Little Caesars. However, if I was on the side of the road and someone said, hey, there's a box of Little Caesars pizza there, and we don't know how it got there, I'd be like, you know what? Open up that box of Little Caesars and give me some of that ranch dipping sauce too. I will say that. I'm actually tempted to try these M&M desserts, M&M brownies.
They're pretty good. I think those are probably the best part, honestly. If I were to pick like all out of all three together,
so
that's
better than the pizza, the dessert.
It's weird because my pizza wasn't as chewy. That was the weird part.
So I'm gonna try the M&M brownie.
Mine had more of a crunch to it. They also make that brownie and Twix variety as well.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, you're right. It can either be hot or cold. That's true.
Yeah. I think it says on the bag too, or at least they took it off. Like on the display, it says you can reheat it or eat it cold.
Well, I would definitely put that. I put that in the freezer, definitely.
Yeah, I've had it both. I think heated's pretty good. It's messy heated, but it's really, really good.
Because when I took it out of the packaging, it was very like, it was like jumbly, I guess.
Jumbly.
Jumbly. That's a term to use for the review. What the fuck?
Jumbly was his review. How was it, Jumbly?
Jumbly. It was fucking Jumbly, bro. That's it. Oh man.
Oh shit.
So yeah, real quick, let me go ahead and respond to some of the super chats before Gabe gets into the Diablo stuff. $5 from Asbel on 100. Pizza. $2 from Flame. Pizza. We outside. Literally, we were outside. We were outside. And then $10 coming in for the homie Angel Perez. Y'all should be playing TMNT Shredder's Revenge. LMAO. I just gotta work. Instantly entertainment. Yo, that's a fact. I saw you come into the chat, and then immediately Gabe said, "Go outside, Chris." This man is fucking. This man's fucking the pizza delivery man. Well, honestly, I'm kind of glad it wasn't Papa John's because he might call me the N-word while he dropped off the pizza. He's a fucking pizza. Yo.
Oh no.
Yo.
He's just dripping in sweat while he's doing it.
Bro, straight.
Enjoy your shakaroni. Ugh.
Bro, that's the funniest thing. When you saw that caption, it's like, I had the pizza for 40 days straight. 40 days and 40 nights straight. But yeah, so overall, I'll give Little Caesars an 8 out of 10.
Generous. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Generous. He's being generous.
And and I give kudos to Gabe because he got the stuffed crust, and he knows I love stuffed crust. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can reheat this. If I can reheat this and put it in the oven, might taste a little bit better. But
yeah, it's weird. It's chewy because it's very rare I've ever had it chewy. It's usually like the bottom's got like this like crunch and the middle's chewy, but I've never had it to where it's like I'm chewing it consistently.
Yeah, it was chewy, man. I was like smacking my lips trying to eat that shit, bro. But I would like if I had a Little Caesars near me and there was no other options, I'd have it and be like, all right, this is fine. This is okay.
You're like, it's drunk stone food, whatever.
Oh, if I was definitely drunk or stoned, I'd have that. Absolutely. No doubt. No doubt about that, bro. No doubt. But yeah, now I got this whole Little Caesars pizza I have to finish before the end of the night. Look at that. Straight up, Gabe the pizza man. Gabe the fucking pizza man. Let's go. Everybody, pizza in the chat for the homie Gabe. For what is probably, like, I don't care. Like, we peaked for this episode. For the rest of the year, there's going to be nothing like Gabe and that perfect segue of ordering pizza during the podcast. Like, that is fucking incredible, man. Holy shit.
Man, there's so much thought went into it. I was like, what should I get him? I was like, should I just get him like a regular or should I give him like an extra most best? I'm like, well, he did say he likes stuffed crust. Maybe I should get some stuffed crust. Does he need dipping sauce? And I was talking to JD about it. I was like, what do I do? And then he was like, I don't know. He's like, here's $10. He's like, make sure you get him ranch. I'm like, got it.
Oh my god, y'all! See, this is why I love y'all, and then I hate y'all, and then I love y'all again, like straight up. Oh man! Shout out to you guys for that. That was fucking fun. I'll probably end up nibbling on it while Gabe talks about this original topic. Gabe, Diablo, Blizzard,
yes,
all of that. Yeah, so. People really lighting up the fireworks already?
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's going. I don't think you guys can hear that, but yeah, people are already lighting up fireworks. It's not even
got 4 more days.
Yeah, well, you know, people starting early. He's like, I work on 4th of July. I can't do it on that day, and I'm like, I feel it, bro. I feel it, fam. I get it, man. Not me though. All right, so Gabe. So talk to us this whole situation, Diablo, Blizzard, the crazy controversy with the microtransactions and the fears that might bleed into the next mainline Diablo game, the E3 gameplay, all that stuff. Gabe, the mic is yours.
Yeah, so Diablo has been kind of like spooky for, I would arguably say the last couple of years, but it's actually been more or less spooky for like the last like 8 years. Like with Diablo 3 was, I wouldn't say it was a complete mess, but it was a mess. Definitely was a game that was heavily abandoned by developers. All the updates they did on it were very minimal. Yeah, they added like little new game modes and they added like the whole season gameplay and the adventure mode.
Bro,
but they were so
that was the thing.
little.
That was the thing because I played, not to interject, but
no.
Because I bought Diablo, so I played. I think it was like the whatever they released. I don't know if it was a demo, a beta, or an alpha for Diablo 3. I remember I played through that.
Oh yeah. So I think it was a beta.
I played through that and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Maybe I'll check the game out when it comes out. I didn't because then there was all the controversy. I think it was the auction house and
The auction. And it's funny because that was more user friendly than what's going on with Diablo Immortal.
holy shit, you serious?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay, but I did. See, I'm already eating the fucking cheesy bread. I'm already eating it, bro.
The Italian cheese bread is goated. I don't know. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, with the ranch really completes it, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's not bad. So, I did buy Diablo 3 when it came on consoles. It was the
Well, yeah, like way later in its
Shadow
life
of
cycle.
like something evil,
Oh,
something
Reaper of Souls.
Reaper of Souls. I bought that, played it for a few months, had fun, and then I stopped because my group didn't want to play it anymore. But yeah, I was surprised when I found out like they were doing the seasons. It was like, get ready for Diablo 3 season 18, and I'm like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Why?
They were fun, but man, they did get repetitive after you can only do so many seasons of it being fun.
Okay, so continue.
Oh, so like all so they just added like little variety to give you like reasons to play it again. We got one expansion, Reaper of Souls, and that was it. After that, game basically went on life support with the, like I said, we got the seasons update later down the road, and then we got the adventure mode update, and then after that, they kind of just like didn't really do anything with the game, like little updates here and there. Oh, here's like a 10-year celebration of Diablo. They didn't really do much with it, honestly. So like Diablo was kind of rocky. The real money auction house definitely had a lot of people. I had to fucking pizza. Oh shit! I just noticed it, dude. They jacked your shit, or the driver you had just didn't give a fuck,
bro. It literally, I tried to pull it apart. It pulled apart like 4 different pizzas, bro.
Bro, whoever cut your pizzas needs to be fired. Yo, we gotta post this on Twitter. Like, yo, like mine's perfectly cut. Like my pizza is perfectly cut. I can just get a slice. Like, look at this, already cut. I pulled off the pizza, bro. Chris is like trying to take apart Frankenstein after he's already been built together.
I'm telling you, New York people, they don't fuck with Little Caesars, so they just say, "Here, that's it. You figure it out." Little Caesars is the tales of a rise of pizza. Go fuck yourself, Flame. I hate you.
It's the tales of a rise of pizza.
Oh
god.
So many things wrong with that statement right there. But anyway, continue, Gabe. Continue, Gabriel.
Yeah. So, the real money auction house was controversial, but not to a point where people completely hated it. A lot of people were definitely against it. It was a system where essentially I had a friend who made a lot of money off of it. It was essentially a system where all the gear in Diablo is randomly generated. So if you want to be like the best of the best, you're trying to get the perfect stats. So you're trying to get the exact stats you need, the exact modifiers you need, everything to like the T needs to be perfect. That's what you want. That's how you're going to min max it. That's what people want. So people would just farm that game like nonstop. They do like the higher difficulties to push for the higher stat drops. And then they would go up on the torment scales and they just go crazy on it, doing their little builds and basically just farming simulator on the game, trying to grind the paragon levels to maximize their output. And then they would put the gear that they'd earn from it, if it was like a perfect piece or it was like a good piece but it wasn't anything crazy, they'd put it on the auction house. In the auction house you spent real money and bought the gear. So you bought the gear outright. Reminder, there was no PvP in D3. It said it was coming and they're like, oh yeah, like your gear won't matter in PvP because it's going to be skill based. Like your gear is going to be disabled. It's going to be how you use your spells and how your play style is. And the auction house was like a big thing for the longest time, and you basically bought your gear pieces outright. So if there's something you wanted, you could spend real money on it. I had a friend who farmed a whole set for a monk. He made $2,000 off the game.
Jesus.
Someone bought the full set for $2,000 off of the auction house. Like, it's just people who don't want to spend the time to play the game. They just want to jump into the last rank of Torment, play it once, and sign off for the night, and that's it. So that was like the big controversy was like is Diablo like pay to win? Is it not? It sparked like a lot of red flags. A lot of people were like, yeah, and then a lot of people were like, eh. A lot of people are like, well, I don't really care. Like if you're gonna spend money on something that I'm just playing for free and go for it, it doesn't really affect the gameplay. There was no like component that was really centered around the real money action house, because you and any other guy could do essentially everything without being gated. Like the auction house didn't gate you behind anything. You were able to play the game to its max. If you wanted to farm the gear yourself and sell it or use it, you could do that. It was whatever. Immortal Immortal's a different story. So Immortal, no, you cannot buy gear, but you can buy crafting pieces. So Immortal has this thing called ranks. Now with ranks, they upgrade the quality of your gear. And you can only use so much crafting material to upgrade it. So when you hit certain, like, I guess you would say like thresholds, you got to upgrade to new materials. So there's only a point to farm so much of one area. So basically pushes you to move farther. In Mortal, you can spend tons and tons of money on the crafting materials and upgrade. Like you can go in with a fresh ass character, biggest piece of shit gear on the planet, and spend. There's a guy who spent like $100,000, I believe, on it. Something
There
like
was
that.
some wild stuff. I remember someone was saying
Wild
like they
shit.
spent a lot of stuff and they didn't even get anything out of it. I was like, bro.
Yeah, the gems. Yeah. So we'll get to that part. So you could buy the crafting materials with real money. So that just means that you can get your max ranked gear the moment you log into the game. You can buy the max ranked gear for your character right off the start. And I think in Diablo 3 you couldn't do that with the auction house. I believe there was level requirements. So you actually had to play the game. So I mean, if you were crazy enough and wanted to spend that $100 or whatever on a piece of gear that some 16-year-old kid farmed all night on a weekend, then that was up to you. I mean, most of us never did. We were always selling shit because I mean, we played the game for fun. So shit we didn't use. It was free money. I miss that auction house. I'm not gonna lie. But with Immortal, you could just spend a couple grand and be maxed out gear all around. Even if it's not the right set, doesn't matter.
So a couple grand is in a couple thousand real world dollars?
Yeah, like a couple thousand real world dollars. And then the second part, so the part that you were talking about where the guy spent a lot of money on and he didn't really get anything is, so Diablo has these things called gems. And gems, your gear has sockets, so you could put gems in. They have like insane modifiers, and gems, like all gacha games, have rankings. So even the highest ranked gem has a ranking. So you have like your shit gems, and then you have like your legendary gems. Now your legendary gems can still drop in a ranking of 1 to 5, 5 being the best. Gems cannot be upgraded; they can only be earned. And I believe you can craft gems, and you can upgrade them if you unlock that rank before. So essentially, you have to hope to get a good gem drop. Essentially,
Okay.
To get gems, the most convenient, easiest way of doing it is running these things called rifts. Now, rifts were a concept in Diablo 3 where you would go onto a portal, you would try to kill as much shit as you could before the timer ran out. If you did, this bar would fill up, and if you fill that bar up before the timer ran out, a random boss would spawn, and you would kill it, and it would drop insane loot. So it made you kind of like think about how to approach these dungeons and stuff. And Immortal, the dungeons are literally just copied and paste with the same exact NPCs. The bosses have no moves. So even if you paid to get into these rifts, which that's another topic I'll get into right before we talk about the whole rift. So rifts in Immortal, you pay to get into, and D3 you just enter them. And Immortal, you could pay. They do have free rifts, but there ain't shit. Like the free rifts aren't even worth doing. Like honest to God, like even if you try to play a freemium player, you're just gonna give yourself depression doing the freemium rifts. You're just gonna drive yourself in a hole. There is a chance to get a legendary gem, and there's a chance to get a 5 rank, but the percentage, oh shit, it's so low. It's remarkably low. So the best way to do it is they're called $25 rifts.
Oh boy,
they're called $25 rifts because it requires 3 of the highest quality rift keys that guarantee you a legendary rift. or legendary gem from the Rift, and if you get 3 of them together, it's the max chance you can get, and three of those keys together cost $25, and you run it, and then you get your gems. The RNG factor of it all still is the ranking of those gems. So even if you paid for those keys, you still don't guarantee a 5-star gem. And I think you get a 5-star gem guaranteed after, I believe it's 50 runs. I think it's if you do 50 maxed out $25 runs, you do the math, 25 by 50,
What?
you guarantee a
50?
5-star.
Oh my god. So I'm looking at 4 runs is $100.
Yeah.
Bro. Oh my god. And
Right?
this is okay because it's a free to play game?
Yeah, basically, essentially what they're saying, yeah. And this isn't even the best part.
Oh
So the
god, there's
best
more.
part, so on top of the fact that yes, you have to farm to get your gear, but gear is almost irrelevant because you can craft your materials to rank up your gear. And since gear ranks are transferable, if you find the piece that you need, you can max out a piece of shit item to the max ranking with real money, then go and get it. So most people wouldn't really give a shit if it was probably PvE. If you want to spend money and take away the grind from yourself, you do as you do that your own damn time. That doesn't sound very fun to me. That was like when Assassin's Creed introduced Helix coins and they're
Yeah.
like, buy these level ups or buy this gear, and it's like that just eliminates me from playing that part of the game. Why would I do that?
Right.
That just seems stupid. I would never do that. Like it makes absolutely no sense. Well, same concept with Diablo Immortal. But the problem is that the end game for Diablo heavily focuses around PvP. So it just gets more controversial as I talk about it. So
Jesus.
PvP can only be queued for and done 3 hours of the day.
What the
That
fuck?
you can only queue up during a 3-hour window
So and that's
every day,
worldwide.
worldwide.
How does that even make any sense?
It doesn't. You know, it doesn't. This gets to the best part, and this is why people think it really forces microtransaction. So like, there's leaderboards and rewards for it. So obviously, the higher you push, the better rewards. That's how most games work in that system, especially in gacha games. The better you are, the more freemium or rewards they'll call it. Most of the people that are in PvP are just whales, straight up. Like there was a couple of Twitch streamers who were literally just dumping money into the game. Like they were just they knew how the game worked. They were just showing like how insane this game is, and obviously for content at the same time. But they called it whale wars too, which is funny. But they were showing that like this, so there was this guy who had like, I don't know how much, he probably like 25 grand into the game, maybe.
Oh my god.
He was going to PvP and just instantly killing everybody. It didn't matter what you did. It didn't matter how much time you spent, how much you did. He was just instantly killing people.
It's like that one episode of South Park.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly like that.
Jesus.
So essentially, Diablo Immortal is 100 and like 900%. It's pay to win completely.
Oh.
There's no non-pay to win aspects of the game. There's nothing in that game you can enjoy that is not pay to win.
So just go into it, downloading the game, knowing that you're gonna have to drop bare minimum money.
If you want to be relevant in any way, yeah. If you don't, and you're just trying to play the game, you're just trying to play the game to play the game, and just like not care about all the advertisements that are in your face. And yeah, I guess I could see how you have fun. I mean, I did play it for maybe like 12 hours, and then that was basically it. I was just like, it's just Diablo 3 with microtransactions. That's it.
Oh, that sounds
So
very depressing, bro.
this is where the Diablo 4
Mm-hmm.
worries start kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's a very like Papega thing to compare the two together, but with Blizzard's history of microtransactions, if y'all follow that, like Chris was talking about the previous time we talked about Blizzard, when they did their whole World of Warcraft Classic servers, the whole point of Classic was to relaunch the old school servers for people to play through the X packs in order again without skipping content. They got to relive the experience of what the game was like when it first came out and got to progress through the years. Of course, when they did the first expansion of the game, they added in level boost right off the gate. So right off the gate, they eliminated the whole classic experience. You got to skip all the content and jump right to the current
Jesus.
content. That's what they do in the current game. No one wants to do that. And people were really upset about that. And then they added in another mechanic where you were able to buy your writing skill in game with that purchase, and you're able to buy a mount with that purchase. Again, eliminating a lot of the mechanics and economy of the game with that aspect. So people got really worried when that happened. So Diablo 4, the PR talk on their microtransactions is really, really worded weirdly. So they haven't outright, so they basically said you can't buy gear with real life currency. But Diablo Immortal basically proved that wording is completely irrelevant, because you can't buy gear in Diablo Immortal.
Mhm.
You're buying the upgrades to make your gear better. You're still upgrading, you're still improving your character without essentially buying, the sword of 1,000 truths or whatever. You're
Mhm.
just turning your dull blade of the bastard into the sword of 1,000 truths by crafting it up.
Yeah.
So like, with Diablo 4 being focused so Diablo 4 is being advertised as a more MMO experience, probably because of the competition with Lost Ark. Lost Ark's been destroying it in the ARPG genre right now. Probably still will be within the years. It's a fantastic game. It's a great free to play game that really does a great job at breaking up pay to win and free players in a very, very great way. If you guys have never tried Lost Ark, I highly recommend it. The game, you can spend money to buy currency in game, but the thing is that your gear in Lost Ark does not work in PvP. It's completely skill based, and they give you the best. They give you the best stats, best gear you possibly get when you enter PvP. So you automatically go max. So people spending all this money to be relevant in PvE content, it don't matter for PvE for
Mhm.
PvP. So there's no pay to win aspect in that way. Because when most people think pay to win, they think of PvP content, not really PvE, because PvE is all obtainable. It's part of the game. It's part of the
Right.
grind. It's part of the fun.
Mhm.
So Diablo 4, the wording on their microtransactions basically said that you couldn't buy gear outright, and then on the, I guess you would say, like the terms and conditions of their wording on the site, it basically says that it's not it says it's not limited to DLC and cosmetics and microtransactions. Not limited.
Oh man, see, they're very clever and
Not
sneaky.
limited.
Very clever and sneaky with that.
So people are really like worried with that, especially if it's going to be an MMO based game. So that means it's online play. It's got, they already said it's like a living world. They already showed off like there's a lot of group and public events, kind of like Destiny, but an ARPG format. They showed off a lot of like open world bosses you can join up with other people, a deeper clan system, living and breathing world, and they're full-fledging this into a online game, and PvP is also another focus. But the biggest worries about it is it being a pay to win game.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are really skeptical on it. And it's already on top of them being skeptical with how long in between the Diablo games have been. This game only launching with 5 classes, which is what they did with the last game, but D2 launched with way more classes. And with D3, they rebranded. So they gave you a class from D2 from Diablo 2, and they sold it as DLC for Reaper of Souls twice to you.
Oh
They added
Jesus.
the Crusader, which was basically a rebranded Paladin from Diablo 2 and the expansion. So that came with the expansion. And then they had an additional character pack for the Necromancer, which was also a D2 character, and sold that separately. And then with D4, we were like, well, hopefully it's not happening again. So it's all the same classes too. It's all the same classes. Diablo's been like all the same classes. There hasn't been anything really new outside of like the Crusader, which
Right.
again was just a rebranded Paladin. And with D4, they've already fully launched the full lineup for the game. They said these are the starting classes. These are the 5 classes you guys get. More info later on. And with them saying DLC and cosmetics, they're probably going to sell you classes that you were able to play in Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 again to you
Oh
as
Jesus.
separate character packs,
What's
which is
the
really
what's the what's
frustrating.
the average price for one of those character packs?
I believe it was like $15 for the Necromancer.
Oh God.
I
And
think
we're
it was
talking about
14.
buying Diablo 4 for like $60-$70.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
now I'm
Lord.
not jumping the gun. I'm not
Yeah,
saying that
yeah.
this is what they're gonna do. They could very much just make the characters for the characters they like release down the road free,
Right.
like Lost Ark does, because Lost Ark has a ton of different classes. But given the general, spade of it all, because like I said, if it looks like a spade, it's a spade.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's looking really spooky, and that's already on top of the countless issues with Blizzard,
Mm-hmm.
the team behind Diablo leaving the game, leaving the company, all the developer changes, the delays, just everything else behind it. It's already looking as spooky. Now, I'm not saying that the game doesn't look great. The game looks awesome for an ARPG. The game it's the best looking ARPG out there. Gameplay wise, it looks great. The ideas they want to do behind it, great. Everything about the game looks great, but it's kind of like when the rope drops and the curtain's gone,
Mm-hmm.
what's really behind it. So like it
Mm.
looks awesome, but what's the actual what's the actual picture? What are we actually going to be getting? You're telling me what I want to hear, but what are you actually going to give me?
Like,
Like it
what are you gonna
sounds
get
great.
on launch? What are you gonna be playing for the next couple
Yeah.
months into the next couple
What
years?
exactly? What do you guys mean by microtransactions? Is it cosmetics and DLC? Whatever. I expect to pay for expansions. I expect to pay for costumes. That's nothing new with Diablo. I mean, Diablo 2 had expansions. Diablo 3 had expansions. You had to pay for them, and that's because they were rightfully an expansion. It was basically like buying another game. They added a
Yeah.
whole game's worth of content on it. It wasn't just some small DLC. That is expected. But like the PR talk behind a lot of it is really, really like worrisome. And so a lot of people, and there's a lot of like diehard fans that will disagree, and that's perfectly fine. Understandably, though, Diablo is a franchise that a lot of folks that grew up with the franchise or got into it during D3 or even during the D2 remaster really love the franchise. It's a niche genre. It is a interesting gameplay. It is a interesting overall thing. It's a loot 'em up dungeon crawler with blood and guts, and you can just have mindless fun with it. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
and you can play with friends. Of course, it's a phenomenal game, but the question of it all is with them making this full transition into an MMO, whereas D3 was like, well, you had to be online, but you can play with other people, but you don't have to. And D4 is kind of staying in that similar aspect, but having these public spaces at the same time is really worrisome, basically because what is the overall goal with the PR talk on the transactions? And
Mm.
so, like I was telling you, the whole not limited to is what has a lot of people kind of spooked out. So I'm not. I want to be excited for Diablo 4 because I love Diablo, but with what they did with Immortal, which I know it's a terrible thing to compare the two because they're two separate games, and they're completely, one's an apple, one's a pear, but it's like you
You feel like
have
it's
to.
the same farmer growing it
Yes,
though.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You have to consider the options. You have to consider the possibilities, and you have to look at the history and how the player base and how the company treats everything. So it is a little scary to think about because it's like it might look great, it might play great, but it might also be held back with all these uncertainties,
Mm-hmm.
and we won't really know these I mean, I think soon people are going to be able to actually play the game, so I wonder how much um interface mechanics will be in the game. So I wonder if you'll be able to look at the store. I wonder if they'll have all that stuff in there, because I think they're going into a beta phase real soon. But I'm just like, I'm not too sure on it, man. And I think the reason why I'm not too sure on it is because I mainly don't want to get my hopes up. And
Right.
I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, because there's other people who have spoken and have essentially have said the same thing as well. Maybe not exactly word for word, but the overall idea was essentially the same. Like, the PR wording on microtransactions and the shift to an MMO style service and gameplay mechanics really will have people shaken up. Because I mean, if you make it pay to win, why would I want to play it? I mean, especially if you're going to be eliminating a lot of the solo features. I'm not saying it's not going to be solo, because Diablo's always going to have that solo capability. But when you're introducing these public spaces and these hubs and these group, I guess you say, objectives and these group gameplay, that's a valid question to be, concerned about. Because I mean, people have said the same thing when Destiny was talking about these public spaces.
Yeah.
When we and say any other live service game you think about, like, that's like the first question that comes. And I understand live service is not for everyone. I totally understand. I completely understand. I'm definitely a sucker for online games, 100%. I am a not a social butterfly in the real world, but when it comes to online and playing games with friends and the homies, I am definitely a social butterfly when it comes to there. So
Hmm.
anytime I can do something like that with friends, I'm always down for a live service game. But I like to see it done right, though. You know, that's why, like, I'm never really entirely against games that have subscriptions,
Hmm.
because you are going to get everything in the game no matter what.
Right. Yeah, and
So,
that's
like,
that's the
I don't.
that's the thing. As someone who's not, I mean, I play a live service game once in a blue moon. I dabble in Final Fantasy
Final
14.
Fantasy,
Like
yeah.
every year, I'll probably play it for like 2 months, and then I just get off and play something else. But the one thing that's always got me is just, it's so funny because with the free to play, that's supposed to be um getting around that subscription model, which for a lot of people is the barrier of entry. Like, okay, I got to buy the game and then I have to pay monthly. But then, ironically, when you do all this free to play stuff, it seems like it's only ever like 1 in 20 that actually know how to do the things right. And for
Right.
like Lost Ark, you say is handling things very well, but for every
Oh, yeah.
one Lost Ark, you
Absolutely.
have like 10 or 20 all these other free to play games that just go horribly, horribly, horribly wrong.
Yeah, some is just like, it's blatant. It's a fucking it's blatant. It's just a pay as much as you can to be better simulator,
Yeah.
Like like Genshin Impact did it right. Yeah, it's very gotcha, but the gameplay and the whole mechanics behind the game is very free to play friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And um like League of Legends is another one. Um Lost Ark, and there's some MMOs that do it right. I think Star Wars: The Old Republic does it really well.
Is
Um,
that full on free to play now, or is it like still subscription based?
it's been free to play for a while.
Oh, okay.
I think, like, if you want to have access to the current expansions, you need to subscribe at least once, or you just
Okay.
buy them out, or you buy them outright.
Oh, okay. What's
So
the
it's one or
what's
the
the
other.
what's the subscription price for that? Like still 15?
It's 15, but it's definitely, I would say it's definitely worth the price,
Oh
because
yeah, of
the
course if you
incentive
play
the
it. Yeah.
incentive behind it is you get in-game store currency. It store just sells only sells cosmetics. By the way, the Old Republic has probably some of the best
Nice.
cosmetics
Oh, I
ever.
believe it. I believe it.
Every time I log on that game, they're very good at keeping up with the trends. Like when Mandalorian came out,
Oh, nice.
They made their own like Mandalorian themed, like Old Republic style armor. When Kenobi came out, they straight up just sold you a Kenobi outfit, and they even sold an emote pose with the
Oh,
lightsaber.
nice. So wait, and there's when
So
was the last big expansion? Because I don't really hear. Obviously, it's like dwindled, but like when was the last big expansion? Because I don't really hear people talk about this game.
came out. It's kind of hard to hear people talk about it, considering it's only on PC.
Yeah,
I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
and most people that do play SOTAR play for the single player experience. Even though it's an
Yeah.
MMO, but it's very single player friendly. Like it's very solo friendly. It has a single player like experience. Even though you're in a living, breathing game world, there's a lot of instance and closed off areas, and there's a lot of story elements that you can diverge by yourself, and they made
Right.
a lot more activities playable by yourself. But the last expansion that came out was, I think it was beginning of the year. It was Legacy of the Sith, I
Oh,
think is
wow.
what it's called. Give or take, Steam says there's 6,000 people in game, but it's also been on the client, but it only came to Steam last year. So give or take, depending on how many people actually wanted to make the transfer over to the Steam client, that's also up for gamble.
Right.
Every time I played it, it's always been packed. I mean, they only have like a few servers. They only have like 5 servers, which I mean is honestly fine. I mean, I don't think games need a ton of servers if you don't have a crazy big player base.
Yeah.
That was the problem with like classic WoW, was they added too many servers, and so after the big boom, like I think majority of those servers were actually dead because there wasn't
Jesus.
enough players, because you need a couple thousand players per server
Right.
to make any content relevant. But like Sotar does it pretty well. I think Guild Wars 2 probably does it the best though. I think Guild Wars 2 probably does free to play completely the best. The game used to be buy to play.
Yeah.
You could play the whole game free. There's no subscription model. And then they made the jump to free to play for the base game. And then I think they eventually, every time they add an expansion, I believe they add the previous expansion. So I think like the first
okay.
so I think the base game and the first like expansion is free, and then I think you have to buy like the other two. So they always make like one extra expansion free. But like those are all like really great ways of doing free to play. Whereas like Mortals, it's honestly Whale Simulator. It should just be called Whale Wars. Diablo
Honestly.
Whale Wars. Just
Honestly.
rename it Whale Wars. So that's essentially like where I'm at for like Diablo 4. I'm more worried in the in history of it all, how it was treated, and I'm more worried about, like I said, if you go to the website and you look at their whole terms and conditions, and they go and talk about the microtransaction sections, the whole not limited to DLC and cosmetics has me worried, because DLC does also mean expansion. Some people
Right.
were saying, "Oh, that could mean expansion." That is incorrect. DLC can also be translated towards expansion. So I'm really nervous, especially with them making it. It's going to be on all platforms too. So that's another thing too. And I don't remember if it's going to be. I don't remember if it's going to be crossplay or not. I think. I think they said it would. I think they did say it during the best Bethesda. I already said it wrong.
There's another word. All right. Add it to the list. Keep track, guys. We're at like 3-4 for this night.
Yeah, dude, I'm screwed. There's gonna be like a whole like hot reel list.
Literally, we're gonna have a whole Gabe dictionary.
A Gabe dictionary. It's just gonna be a whole reel of me saying shit wrong.
Yo, straight up.
I believe they said it was either they said that it was crossplay, or their goal was to get to crossplay. Like the ultimate goal altogether was working out the kinks for crossplay.
Right.
So I do believe that D4 is gonna have full on crossplay, which again is great, but if it's pay to win mechanics, so that's a little, like you said, you're paying it for a $60 game. I don't know. I'm just I went. It's weird because I used to be really, really excited about it all, and I'm sure this is how have felt about some properties that you've really, really, really loved, and you're super excited about the game.
Yeah.
And then things just kept coming out. Things just coming out. I guess I could say that's kind of how you felt for Star Wars, and you're just like I just don't have any expectations. You're like, I'm looking forward to it, but you're like, I'm not surprised if it just ends up not being at all what it's imaged to be, or what you would like it to be.
Right. And that's what kind of worries me a little bit, because by the time this game comes out, all things considered, if it goes according to plan, this will be one of the first major releases under the Microsoft Activision banner, and obviously you can't fault that on Microsoft, because they don't own the company, they can't control this, but the PR and the backlash, it's all going to come Microsoft's way if they buy this if they buy this studio and then Diablo 4 is just this mess, like it's gonna be a lot of bad faith. And they already have a lot of bad faith right now currently with what's going on with Bobby Kotick, and then even in Xbox Game Studios with Halo Infinite. And it's like the last thing people want is just another one of these situations, you know?
Yeah, and like another one to add on to that is the fact that it's the first Diablo game to launch
Launch
globally on
globally.
all platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Which
so you would think that, with all these franchises coming back and there's going to be more eyes on these games, what better way than like to say, hey, welcome to our world, this world that's only been on PC and console games have only just now experienced it. Now everyone can play it, now everyone can love it and enjoy it. And then if it ends up like Immortal, like that honestly, I'm just, because I'm transitioning to that point where I'm like, I start feeling bad. I start feeling bad for fans of the franchise with all these legacy properties, man, and like this is what they keep doing. So we'll keep y'all posted as far as what happens with Diablo 4. Gabe, you said they're going to be doing some type of a testing soon, right?
yeah, I believe Diablo 4, I think they're gearing up for like a beta. I think because you can do the signups right now, but I believe they're gearing up for like a beta. Let me see what the date was. It was relatively like soon.
It'd have to be
Uh,
soon because they're trying to launch it. I know they didn't give a date other than 2023, but I assume it's like
yeah,
probably Q1 or Q2 at the
Wh-
earliest.
which which was weird because originally they were like, "Oh, it's on a hiatus for the release date and development," and now it's
Okay.
you could pre-register. So if you go off like the trend of Blizzard, they do most of their stuff during like the most of these tests during the fall. So
Yeah.
I would say probably around the September to October area, I would say is when they would start. I mean, if they do it earlier and do it summer, I would be actually shocked, but from the way they have the signups right now, it's looking like it's gonna be probably towards the fourth quarter.
Okay. Alrighty, and we'll keep y'all posted when that day comes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another sweatastic episode of the Sweaty Cast. We've officially crossed Sweaty Cast session numero 6. That is 6 for all y'all out there. Thank you guys so much for joining us for tonight's show. Definitely one for the history books. We had a lot of like, as far as like having no topics to talk about this week outside of like a Nintendo Direct and God of War, I felt like we did pretty good for ourselves. We got a live Little Caesars taste test on camera. So shout out to
Yeah.
shout out to Jason and shut up Gabe over here for that. I got to think about something. Got to think about something to do to get y'all back. I got to find a way, but I don't know. I can't.
Good.
I gotta look into it because if I order you stuff that's around you, it's like you already know. But then again, I'll do some research. I'll check out some stuff that's
Dude,
a little
that shit,
outside.
it was fucking, oh man, dude. I was so excited about that.
Okay, so when exactly did it say it was delivered? Because I'm curious, man. Because that was a little too on the nose when I said, "Gabe, what do you think about this?" And you're like, "Chris, go outside." Was it there for a while or what?
I think it was there for like a minute. I'm not
Oh
too sure.
Jesus.
I went and checked it and it said like what did it say? It said it was left like in a secure location. That's what it said.
Okay, got you.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but all right, cool.
It literally just means right on the front porch. That's
Oh, okay.
that's dead. That's what it meant. But yo, I mean, that was lit, man. Yeah, y'all got that Little Caesars review as well. Yeah, out of the three of them, I would say the pizza. Out of the three items, I would definitely say I think I enjoyed the bread the most.
I
Just
can
that
see you eat the
ranch.
bread.
I was
can
eating the
see you
bread
eat
more than anything, man. And then after that, the stuffed crust, it wasn't bad. I mean, it ain't no Pizza Hut stuffed crust, but not many
Yeah.
things can be Pizza Hut stuffed crust. If I'm
Oh, we know you and your pizza Hut stuff.
yes, sir.
Someone earlier said to put it in the oven or like skillet it or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I think the pan iron skillet, put it on there to get a crispy crust. I'll probably, if anything, throw it in the air fryer as I walk the dog, and
Oh,
I'll
there you go.
yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah, you
We're gonna
already
be
you
set.
already know.
Yup.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys, thank you guys so much for coming through to tonight's show. Gabe, where can all these lovely people follow your sweaty degenerate self?
Yeah, so you can go to at Shut Up Gabe with 2 E's on Twitter, and on the bio I got a direct.me link which essentially gives you access to my private OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. It
Oh
gives you
shit!
access
Coming
to
soon, coming soon, coming soon. Pizza,
coming
pizza, coming
soon.
soon.
Pizza coming soon. I'm about to get pizza on my OnlyFans.
Yeah, there you go, bro. You can
it,
sponsor with
it,
Little Caesars. You know they sponsor with the
yeah,
Batman. Now they can sponsor with Gabe. There we go.
they sent me edible underwear. It's great.
It's made out of pepperoni and really,
Made out
really
of
chewy,
pepperoni.
really, really chewy dough. Yeah,
Hey, yo, pots.
straight up.
But it's got all the links to basically all my platforms that I play on, usernames, essentially social medias. Basically, it's a whole biography on Gabe, though. Brochure of Gabe.
The brochure of Gabe Fett. There we go. The brochure of Gabe Fett. And y'all know where to find me at NeoGameSpark right there on the screen. Follow your boy on Twitter. Also, all my links are going to be down below in the video description, from the Discord community, Patreon page, all that stuff. And until the next time we all meet, fine ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, I am NGS signing out for Shutout Gabe. Y'all enjoy the rest of your mornings, your afternoons, your evenings, whatever times when y'all may be in or may not be in this whole multiverse of madness that we are living in. And until exactly into the multiverse, into the madness of the multiverse, as Gabe says, because you know he's always switching those things around.
I'm ad-libbing. Oh, someone said a hydration check.
Oh, we won't. Oh, no. So hydration checks are for the Ask Neos. We got to find something else to do for the Sweaty Cast as like a sign off. Maybe take a shot of something. That'd be wild if like every week we took a shot of something. I mean, I'd be down to that.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that. Like every Thursday night we take a shot of something.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. So Gabe and I, we're gonna communicate over the next couple of days of like what liquor we're gonna take a shot of, and we'll get back to you guys on that. So yeah, signing off for the Sweaty Cast, you guys. Stay sweaty.